We continue to visit with candidates running for office, and this time we get to take a look at District 1, and Juan Chadis in studio with me this morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Chad. Doing well. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. For folks who maybe don't know too much about you, tell folks a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I was born in the Lubbock area, actually in Lubbock. I'm 67 years old, born 1949. I've got a son, a daughter, 5 grandchildren, one of them which is going to Texas Tech currently. Decided to run for city council a few months back, and I'm having a great time doing it. And I want to extend a thank you to all my friends out there for all their encouraging words and all their support. Briefly, my background has been in safety, has been in communications and TV for about 12 years. Safety points, worked for mental retardation centers in Corpus Christi, managed a $2.5 million yearly budget with the Davis-Bacon Act, employing people with disabilities. From there, I worked, like I said, TV, in the environmental business. I was working refinery, did environmental studies there for about 18, 19 years. After retirement, we decided to come back to Corpus, to the original property owned by my grandparents.
Back to Lubbock?
Back to Lubbock, that's correct. Again, I was born on this same property in 1949. House goes for sale. I decided to move back into my grandparents' house. Emotional connection to the property, to the neighborhood. I'm glad to be back, connected with a lot of my older friends now. We're all a little bit chubbier and grayer-headed and having a great time doing it also.
How long have you been back in Lubbock?
In Lubbock now, April the 1st was 5 years that we've been back in Lubbock.
Okay. You are running to replace a person who's been a controversial figure in Lubbock, someone with a big personality. You know that. What are you hearing from folks in District 1 when you go around and you knock on doors and you talk to people in District 1? What are they looking for in their next city council person?
We've been walking the blocks and knocking on doors now for about a month. Opinions vary. They're asking me now to make a difference, to do a change. And I am emphasizing the fact when I speak to people how important it is for me to be in connection with the people in my district. The open door policy will be there. I do my shopping without doing any promotions for any grocery stores, but I do walk around the Amigos grocery store. I've told them, if you see me walking down the aisles, hey, let's sit down and have a cup of coffee. Let's discuss some of these vital issues. When I go to Walmart, same situation. Hey, if you see me walking down the aisles, grab me, let's sit down, let's talk. My doors are open. I'm listening. I'm communicating with the people out there. What are the concerns? Let's address them.
Is that something that people in District 1 feel has been lacking, where they haven't had that personal connection, you think?
Some opinions have been that way. Okay, I don't want to cast any doubt on Victor. Victor's we've sat down, we've had cups of coffee before. We've known each other since I've been here for 5 years.
Sure.
I haven't heard anything really derogatory about him. If that's what you're asking, I have not. I'm concentrating on what I need to do for my constituents. My predecessor, what he did. He closed the door on that, so it's part of history now. So we're moving forward.
What are the top concerns?
Some of the top concerns: the crime rate in District 1, absentee landlords, another concern, abandoned houses, boarded up houses. What's being done about that? I answered that briefly by meeting with Stuart Walker in charge of code enforcement. He and I have had a sit down already. He's got some concern on also. So the issues I am starting to address already, and I'm not even in the city council yet. So I'm a subscriber of the let's be proactive instead of reactive. Let's address the issue before it becomes a problem.
What do you think the Lubbock City Council can do as far as, let's get into the housing issue, the boarded up houses, the I think you said absentee landlords. What is it that the city council can do?
Working with the code enforcement, start holding these absentee landlords accountable. Who are they? How many properties do they own out there? What is the situation these rental properties are in? Let's make, we talk about beautifying the downtown area. Mm-hmm. Well, let's let that spill over into the neighborhoods just as well, because the rental property in District 1, we've got 2/3 of the households are renter occupied. That's roughly 10,000 households that are renter occupied. So that's a big number.
Right.
Now, what kind of situation are these properties? Are they being maintained? Are they livable spaces? And if not, well, who are these property owners? Who are these people that are renting out these properties? Let's hold them accountable. Let's make sure they're livable quarters. I mean, no one wants to live in rundown houses. Let's make people proud of where they live. They walk out of their houses, they come back in. Let's make them proud. Again, the beautification, I call that, when you become proud of it, it's infectious. You see your neighbor cutting his yard. He's grooming his garden. He's painting the house. It becomes infectious. Now you see your neighbor doing it. Now you get motivated to do the same thing, and that's what I would like to see.
You brought up crime as one of the top concerns, it seems, among citizens in District 1. What is the issue there? Is it lack of police in the area? Is there a need for I know substations have been kicked around as an idea. Is that something that citizens have brought up? What is it that the city council can do to address the crime, which does affect beautification of the neighborhoods, which does affect future development in District 1? Crime kind of it either ties everything together or it can untie everything, right?
It definitely does. Just to cite one example, one story that was recited to me by a friend when I was walking down the street. And I won't mention the neighborhood, and please don't ask me. He says that when he got out of the driveway with his granddaughter in the afternoon, he said he picked her up from elementary school, drove up to his driveway. He's walking from his driveway to his front door. He was approached by a person wanting to know if he needed some company that afternoon. And, of course, he was livid for the fact that he was, because of the situation, plus add on to that, his granddaughter is with him.
Right.
No one should be approached period. Do you need company this afternoon? This is what was happening in the middle of the day. You mentioned substations. The chief has already said that he was wanting to start the substations. I'm in total agreement with that. And the reason for that is you have your police presence in these neighborhoods. Now, he's talking about putting the substations in the fire stations, which I'm for also. Police presence, to me, would curtail crime because now the police are there. They have their beat, which is great. I'm all for that. The police officer now will be recognized. He'll have a rapport with the people in the neighborhoods. They will recognize him. Hey, here's Officer Smith, Officer Gonzalez coming by. This is great. It's a rapport that needs to be done. You hear these stories about incidents happening in different cities. And it's unfortunate, but it did happen. It does happen. It puts a dark cloud, if you will, over the police officers. They shouldn't all be held accountable for one incident that happened. So let's put them in the neighborhoods. Let's have them be recognized. Hey, these are good police officers. They're here to help us out. They're not here to harass us. They're here to do their job, and their job is to keep us safe in our neighborhoods. Right.
Visiting with Juan Chadis, running for Lubbock City Council District 1. Let's take our first break. When we come back, we've got a lot of issues to get into as far as Lubbock City Council goes. We'll get into citywide issues that have affected or come up at the Lubbock City Council meetings in the past, and issues that will come up in the future as well. We'll be right back. Back on the Chad Hasty Show, News Talk 790 KFYO. Juan Chadis in studio with me, candidate for District 1, Lubbock City Council. Let's get into some general city issues. We've talked a little bit about District 1, and we'll probably get back into that closer to the end of the interview, but some general issues that may affect the city of Lubbock. What is your philosophy when it comes to taxes? Because that's eventually going to come up over at City Hall.
Taxes are always coming up. It's part of working with a budget. Taxes, I'm on a fixed income. I'm retired. So I relate to the people that say, hey, taxes hurt, but yet you've got to have them in order to run a successful business. I would try, and I emphasize the word try, to keep taxes at a minimal. And again, because it affects me as well as my constituents that are on a fixed income. Mm-hmm. My district, there's 31% of the people in my district are earning less than $15,000 a year. So that is another reason I would work to try to keep the taxes down. It affects a lot of people.
Well, and this is a conversation that I hear from a lot of folks all over the city, that Lubbock's becoming pretty expensive to live. And the price. Now you compare it to Austin, you compare it to Dallas, Houston. No, there's no, there's no comparison there. But it's not as cheap as it used to be to live in Lubbock. You look at LP&L bills. You look at taxes that people say continue to go up. You look at some of the fees that are out there that continue to go up. When you mention 31% folks in District 1 make less than $15,000 a year, that hits what would be your constituents a lot. That
is one of the reasons I would work to try to keep the taxes down. Again, you've got to have an operational budget.
Sure,
you have to, but it would have to be reviewed. People get affected by it. Would they be okay? You raise the taxes now. With this person, this indigent person, what are they going to have to sacrifice? Are they going to have to sacrifice a meal or sacrifice their prescriptions? We need to look at that. It's easy to say, well, let's pass a tax for XYZ reason, and it's going to cost another 2% or 2 pennies, let's say. That can affect people's living, people's existence. I don't want the lady down the street to miss a meal or miss out on buying her prescriptions. That shouldn't have to happen. And unfortunately, again, the 31%, those are numbers from 2015. These are real numbers that should be taken into consideration when we are talking about raising taxes. How are we affecting our constituents? Or what else can we do to raise money?
Right. Downtown Lubbock, obviously that's a big issue for everyone, it seems, running for city council. What role should the city play in downtown Lubbock? Should there be more city money used to redevelop downtown Lubbock, in your opinion?
My opinion, well, currently it's being privately funded. There are some city monies being used for the infrastructure.
Right.
And again, I emphasize it should be minimal money being used from the city, because if the John Q. Public, Mr. Private Entity, wants to do something in downtown, he's purchasing the property. So surely he's already looked at the monies that will have to spend out of his pocket to beautify his area or purchase a property, all renovations that have to be made. So I'm all for John Doe coming in here and purchasing the property. And it should be minimal investment on the city's part.
Let's look at the Omni building. It's downtown. It has to deal with the city of Lubbock, maybe the future city hall. Do you like how this process has played out as far as the city going in, purchasing the Omni building? They're going to renovate it. There are some who are running for council, whether it be for mayor or for individual districts, who say, hey, we need to kick this to the voters. We need to let them decide. There are some on the council right now who say that ship has sailed. We're moving on. We're renovating the project. We can't turn around. If you're elected, what would you like to see happen?
I'm with the ship has already sailed. We're there. We've already started putting money into a project. Now, do we bail out and lose all the money that's already been put into it? I say let's continue forward. Let's continue monitoring the expenses. There is a budget already set aside, I'm pretty sure, as to what's going to be done. Time frame to get this work completed. It has to be scrutinized, and I'm sure somebody's already there also doing that, appointed by the city. Let's make sure we stay to budget. And, of course, there's going to be, I'm sure, some additional things that are going to happen that weren't a part of the budget. Well, then let's have a sit-down. Let's talk about these added-on expenses. But we can't just have a carte blanche at this project either, because it is affecting the city itself.
Part of this is to also move LPD from their current building into what is currently City Hall. It would be renovated and would become the new police station. Earlier you mentioned you're in favor of substations. How many substations, number one, do you think Lubbock needs? And if we have substations, does LPD still need to move into a renovated City Hall?
I believe they do need to move into the City Hall. They do have to have a central station. Your question about the substations, Chief would have to address that one. Currently, I believe he's got one station already on the southwest side. How many? Again, that's his department. He would have to come with the City Council, sit down and let's talk about it. Definitely need some substations in the hot zones, the hot areas, the hot crime zones. Definitely need them there. And again, for obvious reasons, that's why you need them there. You need the police presence.
Right.
And again, if you live in these high crime areas, it would be greatly appreciated.
Annexation, obviously, that was voted on last night. The vote that passed last night was we're going to annex. And the more controversial annexation was this, southern parcel of land, I guess, that had some residents who did not want to be annexed into the city. City said, okay, fine, you're going to have a 20-year grace period. Did you like that plan that was presented last night by the Lubbock City Council and approved by the council? And what are your views overall on annexation in Lubbock?
The overall annexation would have to be reviewed on a case per case. When you're annexing a large large acreage, that affects a great amount of people. Now, last night the talk was the 212 agreement. That's what gives the people a 20-year moratorium, if you will. Then after 20 years, it will be reviewed again. And hopefully at that point, there'll be a better resolution to address the annexation issue. It's hard to say I'm for it because will we be able to supply the first responders? Will we have the safety issue taken care of when you're out there? An issue that was brought up. If you annex the area and there's areas in there that are not annexed, you put in a 411 call. Is it going to be determined, yes, we can serve you, or no, we can't serve you? It can become an issue at that point.
Juan, tell people where they can find out more information about you online.
My website is juanchadis.com. The Facebook page is Juan Chadis District for City Council District 1.
All right, Juan, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.